Now let's use the same sentence frame to tell where Stanley is. Again, that means he is not doing anything. The verb is will just connect the noun to the rest of the sentence. Use the sentence frame to tell where Stanley is. Let's look at some sentences taken from the text and identify the linking verbs. Look at Part B on page 8. Read the following sentences and underline the linking verb in each sentence. Listen as I read the first sentence. His mouth was dry and his throat hurt. Mouth is a noun that answers the question, what? So I have to ask myself, what did it do? The mouth didn't do anything. I see the word was and the describing word dry. The word was is connecting or linking mouth and dry. It's a linking verb, so I'll underline it. I may not be finished with this sentence because of the and. I keep reading and find another noun, throat. Did it do anything? Yes, it hurt. That shows action, so it is not a linking verb and I will not underline it. Listen as I read the second sentence. The land was barren and desolate. What is the noun? What did the land do? We see two words that describe the land. What are they? We have a verb that links land with barren and desolate. What is the linking verb? Underline was. Now complete the remaining sentences by underlining the linking verbs. Let's use what we've learned about nouns and verbs. Sentences can be divided into two parts, the subject and the predicate. The subject is the part of the sentence that answers the who or the what. The predicate is the part of the sentence that answers the question, the what did they do question, no matter how much detail is in the sentence. I am going to introduce you to a process for writing basic sentences and then expanding them. It's called masterpiece sentences. In each stage, we will expand our base sentence by answering questions about the noun and verb that will make the subject and the predicate grow. Look at the sentences on the board. The man chewed sunflower seeds. Instead of smoking, the lone, irritable man who had an icy stare constantly chewed sunflower seeds in his office. The process will help us transform those simple sentences like the man chewed sunflower seeds into true masterpiece sentences like instead of smoking, the lone irritable man who had an icy stare constantly chewed sunflower seeds in his office. I want you to look at page 9 in your student books and read aloud the stages. Read the stages along silently as I read them aloud. Stage 1. Prepare your canvas. Choose a noun for the subject, choose a verb for the predicate. Subject, who or what did it? Predicate, what did the subject do? What did the subject do it to? So, for example, the man chewed sunflower seeds. Stage 2. Paint your predicate. Tell more about what happened. When? Instead of smoking. Where? In his office. How? Constantly. So we get the man chewed sunflower seeds instead of smoking in his office constantly. Stage 3. Move your predicate part painters. Move the predicate painters to create a different sentence structure. You could say, instead of smoking, the man constantly chewed sunflower seeds in his office. Stage 4 is about painting your subject, telling more about the subject. Which one? The mean-looking man. What kind? The grouchy-looking man. How many? The lone man. So it becomes, instead of smoking, the lone, grouchy, mean-looking man constantly chewed the sunflower seeds in his office. Stage 5 involves painting your words. You want to select words or phrases in your sentence and replace them with more descriptive words or phrases. So it becomes, if we remove grouchy and mean-looking and change it to irritable and who had an icy stare, the sentence becomes, instead of smoking, the lone, irritable man who had an icy stare constantly chewed sunflower seeds in his office. Then you want to finalize in stage 6 with some finishing touches. You want to finalize your sentence structure as well as check for spelling and punctuation. Now today, we will only be working with stage 1, but I wanted you to see the entire process. We will use the painter questions often as we examine the rules that govern our language. So I want you to look at the bottom of page 9. Use the following questions to create simple sentences about the characters in wholes. Go ahead and do so. The rules that govern the way we write our language are called conventions. What are conventions? We always capitalize the first word in a sentence. Other words within the sentence might be capitalized, but the first word is always capitalized. What do we do to the first word in a sentence? We also always end a sentence with a period, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. The sentences you wrote using the masterpiece sentence strategy were statements. They should end with a period. What punctuation mark do you put at the end of a statement? Now let's move on to page 10. Sentences begin with capital letters and end with a period, an exclamation point, or a question mark. Read the following paragraph and correct all capitalization and punctuation errors. Use the editing marks to make your corrections. Notice capitalization is 3 little lines under whatever letter needs to be capitalized. A lowercase is a slash, where you write the lowercase letter above it. And when you want to insert a period, you put a period with a circle around it. Let's look at the example sentence. Notice the first word was not capitalized, so there are 3 lines underneath the B and a capital B written above the word. The next error is one of capitalizing a word that shouldn't be capitalized. A slash mark has been put through the B in bus, and a lowercase b has been written above it. What kind of noun is Stanley? We know that proper nouns have to be capitalized. 3 lines were drawn below the S, and a capital S was written above it. Finally, there is no end punctuation mark. A circle with a period in it was placed at the end to show the need for a period. Listen as I read the excerpt. When I finish, you will work to correct all of the mistakes. Remember to look for unnecessary capital letters as well as missing capital letters. The guard led Stanley into the building, where he felt the welcome relief of air conditioning. A man was sitting with his feet up on a desk. He turned his head when Stanley and the guard entered, but otherwise didn't move. Even though he was inside, he wore sunglasses and a cowboy hat. He also held a can of soda, and the sight of it made Stanley even more aware of his own thirst.